What a beautiful summer evening for baseball here on this Friday night in downtown Milwaukee. Just to the west of downtown, it's Miller Park, and the first of a 7-game homestand, the first of a weekend series. That's the Brewers and the Diamondbacks. Ian Kennedy on the hill for Arizona. He has scuffled a bit after a terrific start. Randy Wolf on the hill for Milwaukee. He's pitched well enough to win more than his 2 games so far, but will be expected to get his team off on the right foot here tonight for this homestand. Hi, everybody. I'm Craig Kashon alongside former Brewer Jerry Augustine. The lefty, the former lefty, all knows what Randy Wolf is going through right now, and that's our topic of conversation off the top. Randy Wolf is winless in his last 10 starts. In fact, we go back and show you video from his last win all the way back on April 30th. 4 blown saves in a row, most recently 6 of the last 9. How do you render that?
Well, I tell you, as a pitcher, your job is to go and keep your team in a ball game. And when you look at Randy and being a veteran, he totally understands this. He understands that he has to go out there each and every time, try to keep his team in a ball game, and things will turn around. It's going to come to a time when he's going to come in a ball game, and he's going to want to finish that game. Make sure of it.
All starts tonight, and he'll have this guy, Corey Hart, who's loving Miller Park behind him. Home run happy at home is the Brewer slugger. B.N. Rock tell you why on the other side.
Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards. By Miller Lite, because when friends come together, it's not just a good time, it's Miller time. By Toyota. When you choose Toyota, you get a lot for less. Toyota. And by AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T. Rethink possible.
Great to be back at beautiful Miller Park, and great to see Ryan Braun taking batting practice earlier today, and he is in the starting lineup. He missed Wednesday's game out with an elbow injury after he was hit in that elbow on Tuesday, but he's back. The day off did him some good. Hi, everybody. Brian Anderson along with Bill Schroeder. Great to have you with us. Brewers start a nice homestand here. You got 3 against the Arizona Diamondbacks, and then you have a 4-game series coming up against the Miami Marlins. So this is go time for Milwaukee. One of the areas we are focusing on and what we've seen over the last couple of weeks is Corey Hart at first base. He has been a huge hit over there.
Yeah, and you talk about a guy that can be streaky, and when he's on a roll, he can carry your team on his back. And lately, he's really been swinging about well. The end of the last road trip, Corey Hart driving in some big runs, showing some powers in the top 10 in home runs and doubles in the National League, shooting the ball all over the diamond. Certainly a guy that has a big impact in that lineup. And you talk about a versatile player, Corey Hart, moving from right field to first base, and I can't believe I'm going to say this, has not committed an error yet this year. I'm sorry, Corey. But he has shown a lot of athleticism over at first base. He's learned the subtleties, and he's made some good adjustments defensively.
Well, we'll see how it goes tonight. The Brewers and the Diamondbacks will look back before we get to the first pitch. Remember, the Diamondbacks in town for the first time since Nyjer Morgan knocked him out of the postseason last year.
Morgan, a smash up the middle, base hit to center. Here comes Gomez, around third, a throw, and the Brewers win. The Brewers are moving on a base hit by Nyjer Morgan.
One of the great moments in Milwaukee Brewers franchise history. Nyjer Morgan, he's in the starting lineup tonight as the Brewers welcome back the Arizona Diamondbacks since that night here in Milwaukee for the first time for the D-backs. Kirk Gibson and the Diamondbacks, they have put things together lately. Arizona winning yesterday. They beat the Atlanta Braves, and now 38-37 for the year. They are just 5 back of the division-leading San Francisco Giants, who took over the top spot in that division with a victory yesterday. So the D-backs are in it. As we approach the All-Star break, Kirk Gibson's batting order brought to you by Piggly Wiggly. Willie Bloomquist leads off, Aaron Hild and Justin Upton. Middle of the order is Jason Kubel, Paul Goldschmidt, and Chris Young. Ryan Roberts, Henry Blanco, and Ian Kennedy rounded out. Ian Kennedy and Randy Wolf matching up today. Randy Wolf, his 16th start. Rock's been a long time since he won a ball game. Got to go back to April 30th. He's looking for his first in his last 11 starts.
He certainly has pitched well enough to earn a victory. The last 4 starts for Wolf He's left with the lead, victimized by blown saves. There you see his numbers overall 2-5. He won back-to-back games at the end of April, and that's been it.
Let's check the defense behind Randy Wolf here today. Braun, Morgan, and Aoki in the outfield. Around the horn, you've got Ramirez and Izturis on the left side with Weeks and Hart on the right side. George Kataris doing the catching, as he typically does with Randy Wolf on the mound. Brewers defense brought to you by Menards. Beautiful night for baseball here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And a good crowd still filing in on a Friday night. Summerfest is underway just down the road. It's a great time to be in this town. Willie Bloomquist will lead off. And Randy Wolf's first pitch is down and in. Away we go at Miller Park. And Angel Hernandez calling the balls and strikes tonight. He's the crew chief. Chris Conroy, Ed Hickox, and Mark Carlson on the bases. Bloomquist takes strike one. It'll be Bloomquist, Aaron Hill, and Justin Upton. Things have changed a little bit for the Diamondbacks since we last saw them rock. They have played a lot better as of late. And they put themselves right back in the picture in the West. Ramos Ramirez bobbles but recovers, and Bloomquist is the first out. 86 degrees. Hardly a cloud in the sky tonight. Very comfortable here at the ballpark. Good baseball weather.
Yeah, the humidity broke a little bit. Yesterday was a scorcher. In the 90s, a lot of humidity, but pretty comfortable here tonight.
Here's Aaron Hill batting second.
Now you talk about the Diamondbacks and what they've been doing differently since the last time the Brewers and Diamondbacks hooked up. I mean, their defense has been very good. Their bullpen has worked itself out, and they've been swinging the bats and swinging it well, particularly at home. Diamondbacks have done pretty well lately against left-handed pitching, winning 5 of their last 6.
And that was a point of trouble last year for Arizona, and even earlier this season. As Hill sends that one to left field down the line. Braun's got a long way to go. He cannot get there, and it bounces out. Aaron Hill with a ground rule double. And the Diamondbacks put a runner in scoring position with 1 away.
Yeah, that's the important pitch for Randy Wolf. Talked to Ron Renicky. He has to be able to control that fastball in on right-handers. He left it out over the plate. And Aaron Hill able to get a pretty good swing at it and knock it down the line. One hops out of here.
And a milestone hit for Aaron Hill. That is his career base hit number 1,000. Well, he has really swung the bat well over his last 10 games. And it'll be Justin Upton with Hill in scoring position early. Diamondbacks managed to win yesterday. They had a thriller in Atlanta yesterday, a 3-2 win. Chris Young hit a decisive home run in the 9th inning, proved to be the game winner. Atlanta took 2 out of 3 from the Diamondbacks, but Arizona has won 5 of their last 7 ball games. There was at one point in the schedule this year, they were 10.5 games, actually 11.5 behind the Dodgers at one point.
The Dodgers playing very well out of the gates. The Diamondbacks did not. They've been banged up too. They've had some injuries, not the injuries to the extent of Milwaukee, but that pitch right off the shin of Justin Upton. Upton's got the batting average at 280, but he really hasn't gotten going like he did a year ago. Run production down for Upton, 7 home runs, 33 RBIs. Their version of Ryan Braun. He's got to be more productive.
Upton, an all-star a season ago, a manager and a coaching staff full of former big league all-stars. Upton taking a little extra time here, understandably. No balls and 2 strikes on Justin Upton. And Kataris keeps it in front. 1-2. Interesting that Arizona, despite their recent success, winning 5 of their last 7, they have lost 6 of their last 8 road games, including dropping 2 out of 3 to the Atlanta Braves. But they have fought their way back into the race. Brewers are facing them for the 2nd time this season. Milwaukee was in Arizona. That was back on the 25th, 26th, and 27th. So a little over a month ago. Brewers won the opener of that series behind Gallardo, and then the Diamondbacks won the final 2 games. And it's a good example of how things can change quickly. As Upton takes another one down in the dirt, and it's 3-2. Wolf had him at 0-2, and now it's full.
Now Randy, scuffled a little bit with his fastball command against the White Sox. Although he did lead with the lead, he gave up 5 runs in 5 1/3 innings. He threw a lot of curveballs in that game. Gave up a home run on a curveball to the opposite field, but overall he had a pretty good hook against the White Sox on Saturday night.
And there's a called strike 3, a breaking ball from Randy Wolf.
Well, that's that curveball we were talking about. An important pitch, just almost as important as the fastball in, just at the bottom of the strike zone, and Justin up and watches it go by, right at the knees.
2 gone for Randy Wolf, and he'll face Jason Kubel. Kubel's always been a tough out for Brewer pitching, even back to his days as a Minnesota Twin. Kubel is a career .377 hitter against Milwaukee, and he has led the charge offensively for the Arizona Diamondbacks in the month of June.
Yeah, 26 RBIs, almost 1 RBI per game. And he's pretty good against lefties, hitting almost 300 against southpaw. So yeah, he's been a good run producer no matter where he's been.
Kubel with 11 homers, 49 runs batted in. He was 2 for 4 with 2 doubles and 2 RBIs yesterday. Strike called, outside corner. 1-2 the count.
About 91 miles an hour, you put it there, you're going to have a pretty good night. Right on the outside corner at the knees.
That could bode well for Randy Wolf to get that call from Angel Hernandez. A pitcher who has to live on the corners to be successful. 1-2 to Kubel is down and away. Jason Kubel, you look at his last 10 games, he's driven in 10 runs in those last 10 and 4 home runs during that stretch. So he's had a big month, and he is having a big finish to the month. Strike called, outside corner. Another breaking ball gets a called strike 3. That looks like an open zone tonight. And Randy Wolf takes advantage of it. couple of days in Appleton watching his son Lance for the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers. Back to watch a little big league ball here tonight. Here is Renick's batting order. It's brought to you by Piggly Wiggly. Nori Aoki, Niger Morgan, and Ryan Braun, the top three. Renick has Ramirez, Hart, and Weeks in the middle of the batting order, with George Kataris, Cesar Izturis, and Randy Wolf rounding it out. And that's the batting order that will face Ian Kennedy, who was a 20-game winner last year. Things have not gone so smoothly for Kennedy in 2012. He's just 5-7 and an ERA of 4.42.
Yeah, he won his first 3 decisions this year. Started out 3-0. He's lost 7 of his last 9. And at one point, he lost 5 in a row. A big difference from 2011.
Nori Aoki back in the leadoff spot. Aoki has turned into a full-time player for the Brewers. We talked about Corey Hart in our open tonight, and the fact that Hart has played so well at first base has opened up some opportunities for Aoki as he singles to start the game offensively for Milwaukee.
Got to have that consistency at the top of the order, and Aoki's done a nice job even against left-handed starters. There's one of the big problems for Kennedy this year. Location, that up in the zone right down the middle, and Nori able to bang it into center field.
Very balanced spray chart for Nori Aoki. Uses the entire field, and he is aboard. We'll see if the Brewers go to work here. Niger Morgan back in the starting lineup. Morgan had a very rough day in Cincinnati on Wednesday. Got tangled up with a fan. There was a number of plays that he did not come up clean on, especially a play in the outfield. And Ron Renick said he had a chat with Niger Morgan, not just about the specific plays of that game, but the overall picture. And I think Morgan is a player who is, believe it or not, searching for a little confidence. Morgan's always been a guy that's trusted his ability, but it has been a rough season for Niger Morgan offensively. And in Renick's words, he just had to remind him who he is. This is a hard game, but you've got to pay attention to the details and do what you do best.
And focus, and really don't deviate from that. Don't let your mind wander. You know, you make mental errors. That's not acceptable for Ron Renick. Physical errors are one thing, but mental errors and mistakes, base running mistakes, that there's no place in that in the major leagues. But in general, Niger's been swinging a much better bat, you know, in the month of June than he did in the first 2 months.
There was a lot of early season struggles that have beat up his batting average at this point. There's a bunt, and it is foul, called quickly by Angel Hernandez. Check the Diamondbacks defensively behind Ian Kennedy. You've got Jason Kubel, Chris Young, and Justin Upton in the outfield. On infield of Ryan Roberts, Willie Bloomquist, Aaron Hill, and Paul Goldschmidt. Henry Blanco, the former Brewer, does the catching.
Best defense in the National League, the Diamondbacks. They've committed only 35 errors. The next closest, the Dodgers. I should say Cincinnati. They've committed 40. So this is a very good defensive team, these Diamondbacks.
Yeah, statistically, they're putting a lot of pieces together, the Diamondbacks, as Morgan goes into center field, a base hit. Well, a good start against Ian Kennedy tonight. Back-to-back singles from Aoki and Morgan, and 2 aboard for Ryan Braun.
Niger doing a nice job staying on that pitch and bang it into center field. That's what you have to do against Kennedy. You can't try and pull him.
Now the Brewers facing Kennedy for the second time this year, and a couple of guys went deep against Ian Kennedy. This was back on May 25th. Ricky Weeks homered in that game, and then Ryan Braun hit an opposite field missile, one of the hardest hit balls of the season. Opposite field line drive by the right-handed hitting Braun. So they've had some success against Ian Kennedy so far this year. As Kennedy starts one on the outside corner against Braun.
Yeah, Yvonne Gallardo beat him in Arizona 7-1 at the end of May. Overall 1-2 against Milwaukee in his career in 4 starts.
That was the lone win of that series in Phoenix. Braun checks in with 20 homers, 52 driven in. He missed Wednesday's game in Cincinnati with an elbow injury. He was drilled on the elbow by Bronson Arroyo on Tuesday night and was able to finish the game, but it stiffened up on him, and he showed up to the ballpark Wednesday and said he couldn't straighten out his arm.
Well, off day yesterday. Well timed off day from Milwaukee, and Ryan back at it.
2 on, nobody out to start it for the Brewers in the first, and Braun hits one high in the air to right. Upton is there. Aoki is going to tag, and Upton's throw comes into second base. So there's the first out. Aoki does advance to third base, and it'll be first and third for Ramirez. Well, Rocky and Kennedy just hasn't been the same pitcher we saw last year. This was his last start against the Chicago Cubs, and he couldn't make it through the 5th inning.
And that was at home, where the Diamondbacks played pretty well. He lost 10-5, gave up 5 runs in only 4 in the 3rd innings. And when you watch these highlights, you'll notice where the location of the fastballs are. They're upstairs. He wasn't doing that last year when he won 21 games. Pinpoint control, staying down in the strike zone, and that's been an issue for him this year.
Quick trip to the mound by Henry Blanco. And Aramis Ramirez with 2 on. Kennedy 21-4 last year. A .288 earned run average. He finished 4th in the final Cy Young Award voting, won by Clayton Kershaw of the Dodgers. Kershaw led the league in wins and ERA and strikeouts, and what is known as the pitching triple crown. Kennedy had a great year, and any other year without Kershaw, he might have had a chance to win a Cy Young.
Pitched well in the playoffs against the Brewers, although did not pick up a win. The starting pitcher in Game 5 here in Milwaukee.
A decisive Game 5. He made 2 starts against the Brewers in that division series. 12 2/3 innings, gave up 6 earned runs in those 2 starts. As Ramirez hits one slowly to Roberts, this will bring in a run. Roberts for the second out, and it's 1-0 Brewers.
Good productive outs for the Brewers after a couple of singles. Ryan Braun, the fly ball to right. And Ramirez staying on a changeup just long enough to be able to roll it to third. And he only plays at first base, so the Brewers on the board first.
Ramirez with RBI number 45. Second on the club to Ryan Braun. And here's Corey Hart. Hart says he is more and more comfortable at first base every day, and that's a good thing, because I don't think Ron Rinicky is going to take him off that spot.
I don't think anybody would have expected how well he's done so far at first. A natural transition for Corey. He's making all the routine plays and just about every one of the tough plays.
I remember talking to Corey Hart this spring before he injured his knee, right before games began, and he was taking ground balls, a number of drills at first base, and he said as humbly as he could that, I used to be pretty good over here. I think his mindset was, I used to be good, I'm not going to be anymore. So lower your expectations.
Yeah.
But he has regained a lot of that form in his early days in the minor league system for the Brewers, playing first base every day. Back in 02 and 03. Bangs one out to the shortstop, Bloomquist. And the side is retired. But the Brewers strike first. They get a run off Kennedy in the first. 1-0 Milwaukee as we go to inning number 2.
Wolf will get out on the mound for his second inning of work, and Randy Wolf has run into some tough luck after being a victim of blown saves in 6 of his last 9 outings. I had a chance to talk to Brewers pitching coach Rick Krenitz about this and not allowing this to affect him mentally, and he said Randy needs to just focus on the positive, and the positive has been him pitching really well lately, and hopefully he'll continue to do so tonight. Brian? Yeah,
and I love what he said, Telly, at the end of that conversation with you, that look, unless you're going 9 innings every day, then you don't have any control over it. As Paul Goldschmidt drives one off the wall in right field, Aoki recovers and will keep Goldschmidt to just a double.
Well, this guy's been swinging the bat. Talk about the resurgence of the Arizona Diamondbacks. When the Brewers were in Arizona, in May, Goldschmidt was really having a tough time, striking out a lot, but this time staying on a Randy Wolf fastball away from and just driving it to the opposite field. Anytime you see a big right-handed hitter be able to drive it to right, you know he's seeing it well and letting the ball get to him. Talking about Goldschmidt, perhaps an all-star representative for the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, no question. His 20th double of the year. The numbers are there. 10 homers and 32 ribbies after a very slow start to the season. He's done most of that damage here lately as Chris Young takes a strike from Randy Wolf.
I guess the 2 top contenders for the Diamondbacks have to be their catcher, Montero, and Goldschmidt, you would think.
And Jason Kubel. It's tough to break in the outfield, though, in the National League right now. We've got a lot of big offensive years, although Kubel's had a nice year. Chris Young, he was the star yesterday for Arizona. Young hit a 9th inning home run against Craig Kimbrell. That gave the Diamondbacks a 3-2 lead in the 9th, and Arizona would go on to win that game.
Well, he's always been a pretty good fastball hitter, and Kimbrell's got one of the best. Turned his fastball around. Talk about the Diamondbacks' struggle on the road, but overall they're only 2 games under 500 away from Chase Field. That's not too bad.
Having lost 6 of their last 8 road games, Kirk Gibson has been able to stay patient. Had to work through some injuries. This will be a trying time here for the Diamondbacks. They've just lost 2 starting pitchers to the disabled list in the last week as Young sends that one to center field. Morgan coming in, and Goldschmidt will have to hold his ground at second base.
Hey, on Sunday, all fans in attendance will receive a collectible Famous Racing sausage bobble, the Italian courtesy of the Clements Sausage Company. Call 414-902-4000 or go to Brewers.com for tickets.
Here's Ryan Roberts. 1 gone with a runner at second base in the 2nd inning. Brewers scored a run in the 1st on an RBI ground out by Ramirez after back-to-back hits to start it from Aoki and Morgan. There's a strike. The Diamondbacks, they're going to have to dig deep now, and their depth will be challenged. Daniel Hudson got some terrible news. He has a tear in his ligament and most likely is going to require Tommy John surgery, the ligament replacement surgery. He's seeking a second opinion, but bad news for Daniel Hudson, who was so good for him last year. Joe Saunders went on the disabled list Saturday with tightness in his left shoulder. They don't expect that to be as serious, but still, that's 2 starting pitchers of your 5 from a starting rotation that has just now started to put some things together.
And he said he couldn't get loose. It was 5 minutes before game time at home. There's that big curveball from Randy Wolf down in his zone. That's where you want it. In Chicago, he left a couple upstairs and he paid for him, won a home run, but that's where you want it. Josh Coleman had 5 minutes to run down to the bullpen, get loose, and he pitched 5 scoreless innings.
And that included standing there for the national anthem.
Right.
We're told, so
yeah,
that's 3 minutes of total pitch time.
That is tough duty.
Coleman will replace Saunders in the rotation as Roberts got caught guessing. Randy Wolf snuck a fastball by him. It's his third strikeout. All three have been looking.
Yep, after that curveball that he swung and missed, he was saying, I'm going to get another one. I'm going to hit it somewhere. But Randy Wolf gives him the fastball and punches him out. Third of the night.
Paul Goldschmidt still at second base. And it'll be Henry Blanco. Fine backup catcher. Well, he and Ron Renicky go way, way back. Ron Renicky and Henry Blanco go back to the early and mid 90s with the Los Angeles Dodgers minor league system. Renicky has a great deal of respect for Henry Blanco.
Henry's had a terrific career. Not a better catch and throw guy you'll find in all of baseball.
And Renicky sends George Kotaris out to have a quick chat with Randy Wolf.
I was going to say, you know, Henry Blanco's been around so long, I thought maybe that he and Renicky were teammates.
They played together, that's right. Close. They only missed each other by, you know, I think probably 4 years, as it turns out. Renicky was actually there when Mike Scioscia and the Dodgers organization, Scioscia then a catching instructor, encouraged and won the argument to turn Henry Blanco from a third baseman to a catcher. And what a move that turned out to be. He's still catching in the big leagues. Spent a little time here in Milwaukee as well, Henry Blanco.
He's not going to give you consistent offense, but he will put a charge into one once in a while. And everybody, all pitchers, love throwing to him.
Got a go-ahead RBI hit against the Brewers in Arizona. Proved to be a game winner. Cuts and misses at a fastball. 3-2.
Looks like Randy threw a little bit of a two-seamer going off the outside corner, and Blanco tried to pull it.
Blanco backs up Miguel Montero, one of the great run-producing catchers in the league. Serves a little flare into right. Aoki cannot get there. That's a fair ball. It hits the line and bounces into the seats. Boy, that was close, but Blanco is going to get a double and an RBI out of this as it bounced into the seats.
Yeah, it looked like it was fair, just inside the right field line. So a double, 2 outs, and then a double by Blanco. He barely gets a piece of it. Not a bad pitch by Wolf. It was off the outside corner, but up a little bit. Whoa. Well, the replay looked pretty close.
Yeah, that's close.
When you first saw it, it looked like it was a fair ball.
The splash down right on the line. Henry Blanco with just his third RBI of the season, and 2 of them have come against Milwaukee. There's the mark.
Well, is there a little indentation in that baseline? I don't know.
A little CSI Bill Schroeder here going
right.
on.
Got to look and see if there's a little bit of a crease. Going to be hard to tell on this angle, but you don't see anything moving around. It's not chalk down there. It's more like paint. It couldn't be any closer than that. It looks like on that that shot, it looked like it hit the line.
Yeah. Well, whether it did or it didn't, Chris Conroy said it did, so it did.
And that's the way it should be.
That's right.
Shouldn't have to wait around for 10 minutes for a replay.
10 minutes.
That's what it would take.
Kennedy's a good hitting pitcher, although he has just 1 hit this year. He's just 1 for 19. But he is a threat in the box. Anytime you see a pitcher up there with some kind of guard on, or like Kennedy has a foot guard on, that means he takes his hitting seriously. Right back to Wolf. And the side is retired. Henry Blanco strikes again. He ties it up with a double. As we head to the bottom of the second. Just a reminder, don't miss the biggest event of the summer. Baseball's greatest stars battle for home field advantage in the Fall Classic. The road to the World Series begins with the 2012 MLB All-Star Game. That'll be Tuesday, July 10th, 6:30 p.m. Central, and it's only on Fox. Ricky Weeks, an All-Star last year in Phoenix, Arizona. He'll lead things off here in the second inning. Weeks hitting .185 with 6 homers, 22 runs batted in. Homered on Wednesday. And Kennedy starts him with strike one. That home run for Ricky Weeks on Wednesday against the Reds. His first home run since he homered against Kennedy back on May 25th. It had been just over a month. And the Brewers are hoping that starts a trend for Ricky Weeks, that he can get hot. That one's off the end of the bat. Long run for Upton and Goldschmidt and Aaron Hill, and it's Aaron Hill who makes a catch in foul territory.
Yeah, Ricky Weeks lately has been doing a pretty good job not trying to pull off the baseball. He tried to stay on that last one from Kennedy, but just a little bit out in front. A lot of his damage has been gap to gap, and a lot of it to center field.
George Kataris with one away. If you were with us for our Brewers Live pregame show, Rock and I were talking about the Brewer catching core, and it brings to light with Miguel Montero here. Miguel Montero, terrific run-producing Diamondbacks catcher. But you put the numbers together, Rock, and the combination of Jonathan Lucroy, George Kataris, and now Martin Maldonado per at-bat have been just as productive. As Kataris dribbles one out in front of the plate, and Blanco makes a nice play. Now tomorrow, Baseball Night in America returns to Fox. The D-backs and the Brewers are underway. Last year's NLDS rematch, Baseball Night in America. Telecast begins tomorrow at 6 p.m. Central, only on Fox, with Bill Schroeder and Eric Collins on the call tomorrow. I look forward to listening to you, Rock.
Looking forward to doing it. They're fun.
You've got Mike Fiers and Wade Miley.
Yeah, two young kids that have been doing a pretty good job. Miley, I think he's third in the National League in earned run average. And Mike Fiers coming off some pretty good starts himself.
Cesar Izturis grounds weakly to first, and a quick inning for Ian Kennedy. 1, 2, 3. Brewers go in order. We head to the third inning at Miller Park. Jake Leinenkugel believe me, Jake Leinenkugel's big around here, isn't he, Rock?
Yes, he is. Yeah, especially in my house.
I'll tell you, it's nice, guys.
Not yourself, it's your product.
Yeah, Bill, I would like to be invited over to the house, check the fridge sometime, too. So feel free to give me a call.
I'm not lying about that.
I love that. Thank you very much.
The appropriate response would be which house?
Yeah, which one, Bill? Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I like that, Brian.
Well, Jake's
Thanks.
here. We're going to watch a little baseball. We're going to talk about some interesting summer plans that the Leinenkugel family has put together. This Leinenkugel family road trip. I mean, sounds like a good idea as Randy Wolf starts it against Willie Bloomquist. What's going on with a family road trip?
Oh, boy, I'll tell you, we've got the fifth-generation brothers, Jake, Dick, and John, traveling throughout the top 24 markets for Lineys in the United States right now.
And the idea behind the road trip?
Well, let's get
business related, or are we talking a personal trip here?
Let's get an old Airstream converted to look like a Liney Lodge. Let's get a driver that will take the brothers around and meet some of the Liney fans in great ballparks and cities.
The old Airstream. Where'd you come up with that one?
You know, it was a couple of guys that, said, what are we going to travel in? And they said, let's get an iconic Airstream. Yeah. And I didn't really know what an Airstream was.
No,
I'm a Winnebago type of guy.
Right, as long as you're not driving. Right?
Exactly.
What ballparks have you been at?
Well, I'll tell you, we started out in Phoenix for spring training, and we were all set to see you guys out there in March. And this football player came in to do a commercial, so we couldn't come in that day. Do you believe that?
Yeah.
But we did see the Brewers, we did the Rockies, and we did the Diamondbacks, and then we went up into Denver, did, of course, the Denver. There's a hit.
That is a hit. That's going to go to the wall. Willie Bloomquist is headed to second, thinking about third. He'll wisely hold up with a double. Randy Wolf's given up 4 hits in this game. They have all been doubles. And a leadoff double to start the third, Rock.
They tried to shoot the outside corner, but again, he left it upstairs, allowing Bloomquist to hit it hard down the line. You get that same pitch down around the knees, it's going to be a ground ball, maybe roll over on it to short, but you get it upstairs, and all of a sudden they become very hittable, and that's what's been going on.
So Bloomquist is aboard. All tied at 1 here in the third inning. Jake Leinenkugel is with us.
And Jake is hoping for Aaron Hill to pop one up here.
So is everybody else. Now your brewery, 145 years old. I mean, that's incredible.
Yeah, I'll tell you, it is. I shake my head every day I wake up and go, that was our great-great-grandfather that started that in Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin. And, we're very blessed that we, for 5 generations now, have had so many loyalists in Wisconsin.
And you're still in Chippewa Falls.
We're still in Chippewa. Oh, yeah, that's a great little city in northern Wisconsin that is really adopted to Leinenkugel family and our business. But, we're statewide now. In fact, we're nationwide with Summer Shandy. So it's been a pretty exciting and explosive time for us.
Is that your most popular brand?
It is right now, Rock. It's just really exploded. Hey, that was a good pitch. I thought that was there.
I like Jake. Jake gets to say all the things that we don't.
Rock, I just saw that good breaking ball. That looked like a nice low, and it was low.
See, and umpires think I can't call strikes from here.
Oh, you got it. You got the best seat in the house outside of his.
Feel free to call some play-by-play, Jake. This is your inning.
Well, this has got to be Aaron Hill popping it up. Come on.
I like the
Randy,
pop-up.
give him the good stuff.
Aaron Hill doubled his last time up. He bounced one out to left field. One of the 4 doubles. The Brewers scored in the bottom of the first. Diamondbacks tied it last inning. Do you have access to a television on the Silver Bullet on the Airstream?
We do. And we also, because we're all baseball fanatics, I mean, we love following the Brewers.
Nice.
And that was one of the things that we requested. Besides, at my age, we had to put in a porta pot. I mean, that were the 2 essentials that we had to have.
It doesn't matter what age you are.
TV in the bathroom.
Exactly.
And a Leinenkugels. What more could you ask for? There's your pop-up.
Pop-up.
Oh, and it's over the head of Ricky Weeks. He misjudged it. And this is going to be first and third. Weeks looked like he had it sized up.
Yeah, jam shot, and you're right. It looked like Ricky was ready to haul it in, but just got over his head. A jam shot, and Jake called a pop-up, but unfortunately a little bit out of the reach of Weeks. If he kept going back, he would have been able to get it easily, but he kind of stayed put. A couple of back steps and a jump, and a little bit of a misjudge on that from Ricky, and a base hit, but no RBI.
again, I see that it's pretty hard to pitch from behind, isn't it?
Yes,
I mean,
it is.
That ball was right over the plate, but he got it inside enough for a jam shot, as you said, Rock.
Now, your association with the Brewers is just not, with the advertising. I mean,
we do some beer here at the ballpark.
Yeah, that's right.
I just happen to have a 16-ounce can. There goes the runner.
And he'll make it without a throw.
Now, did you?
I had to have a 16-ounce summer shandy before I came on with you guys, just to settle the nerves.
Right. Why, were you nervous?
Absolutely. I went with the big guys here, Brian and The Rock. Are you kidding me?
Is there a couple of cases back there that maybe you just had on hand?
I like the way Rock took. Thanks. I think our distributor and Bill Olson could take care of that as well.
That is the only way Rock thinks. There's a ground ball, and Weeks makes the play. Throw to first is late. That'll be an infield hit and an RBI. Justin Upton just too fast.
You know what, guys? I'm getting really nervous that our Brewer fans are going to say, what the heck did Jake come on and start talking about his road trip for?
No, I don't think they're worried too much about that. It's just that a couple of atom balls, some seeing eye base hits by the Diamondbacks. You can see that pretty bang. Looks like Ricky might have had him. A little bit too close to call. Could have gone either way.
You know, what he did was save one more run. Aaron Hill certainly would have scored if that gets by Ricky Weeks. First and third with nobody out. A run is in. 3 straight hits to start it. And here's Jason Kubel. Now this one's not on you, Jake. Doesn't work that way. Unless it's in the positive.
Well, I remember Kubel when he played with the Twins, and this guy's got a nice swing.
Yeah, Chippewa Falls not too far.
Yeah,
from
we're
the
real
Twin
close.
Cities, right?
We'll go over and see the Twins on occasion.
About an hour and a half.
Hour and a half.
Around there.
Good call, Bill.
Yeah.
Exactly an hour and a half of quick travel, and Target Field has been a great improvement for baseball.
Right.
Kubel hits a hot one. That's over the glove of Weeks, and another run will score. And it's 3-1, and no end in sight for Randy Wolf. 4 straight hits to start the inning. RBIs from Upton and Kubel.
There's that big curveball. You could notice the location up in the strike zone. And Ricky missing that one by about 6 inches, and that into right field.
Yeah, you're right, Rock. Every one that has been hit has been up. It's right around belt high.
That's the way it goes. You get those same pitches down in the strike zone, you might get a little dribbler somewhere. But it's all about location. Both of these starters rely heavily on location. They don't have the big fastball to be able to get away with pitches up in the strike zone. But lately, Randy Wolf's location has been much better than it was early in the year.
Here's Paul Goldschmidt now. He doubled off Wolf and scored the first Diamondbacks run last inning. Hits that one high in the air to center field. Morgan going back, and he'll look up, and it is way gone. Paul Goldschmidt with a 3-run homer. And the Diamondbacks have unloaded on Randy Wolf here in the 3rd inning.
There's still nobody out. 5 consecutive hits.
You know what? Now I'm feeling really bad. Cruising along at least a 1-1 game, and bang, 5 runs.
Yeah, there's a big curveball, and Randy knew it. He didn't even want to have to turn around. And Goldschmidt, 2 for 2, a double and a home run, both to the opposite field. And that one in Toyota territory. No cheeky there.
So Goldschmidt with his 11th homer. 5 runs are in. 6-1 now. Well, this is an opportunity for us to talk about Leinenkugels. You see how it works here?
I sort of get that.
A big inning is underway, and now we
let's get
divert our attention to other matters.
That one hurt. That did.
We got Jake Leinenkugel here with.
There's still plenty of ball game left.
Absolutely.
My wife and I sat in here with the Brewers down 1 game, 14-3. It was years back, and they came back and won it.
Yeah, you never know. It's a nice thing about this game. So now you guys, we read here that you're going to be breaking out some new product.
Yeah, we are.
In the winter.
We have 2 products, in fact. Summer Shandy will end at the end of summer, which is right around Labor Day. And it's doing so well right now that we're going to continue with the new style of shandy. It's going to be called lemon berry. So we told all of our distributors that, but your listeners and viewers are hearing that for the first time in the state of Wisconsin today. So lemon berry will be out around lemon berry shandy Labor Day, and we're also going to be doing a nice winter seasonal beer. It's going to be a great vanilla porter called Snowdrift Vanilla Porter.
So you guys have the greatest names for beers.
Oh yeah, why not? I mean, hopefully we're going to have a snowdrift this year because there wasn't much last year.
Doesn't he make it sound so good? He makes it sound delicious, doesn't he?
And it is. Trust me on that one, Rock. It is very good.
That's Chris Young.
A ring up.
Strikes out. So at least you made it through one out, Jake. It's been a pleasure to have you.
Wonder. This is a lot of fun, guys. Brian and
we wish you the best of luck on your road trip. We'll be keeping an eye on you. We can watch you on Facebook, right?
Yes, you can.
Twitter?
My daughter does my tweets for me, but she's quite good. So it's
Bill knows all about that. Great
I
to
know
see
that.
you, Jake.
Brian, thank you much. Rock,
thanks, Jake. Good luck.
Seeing you.
Jake Leinenkugel, kind enough to join us. He got one out at least, Rock.
Yeah, that's not bad.
I've seen worse.
Yeah.
Here's Ryan Roberts, the Tat Man, with one gone. And a bouncer out to Ricky Weeks. 4 out, number 2. Nice, good man, Jake, and we appreciate the connection with Leinenkugels, and they do a great job. And Wisconsin proud, which is what you like.
Yeah. 145 years. Amazing, isn't it? They keep rolling out new products, and always the Leinenkugel family has always been a big supporter of Brewer baseball.
Just they're a group that just gets it, you know. That's the best way to put it.
Yep, family owned. Yep.
Yeah, they like being around the ballpark, and we certainly like having them. Wanted to get him up here to tell us about their road trip. And he gave up 5 runs in the process, so his ERA, we had to get him through at least 1 out so he could actually have an ERA. It wouldn't be infinity. Little half swing roller by Blanco. Wolf is there, and the side is retired. But the Diamondbacks get 5. A 3-run homer by Goldschmidt caps it off. Piggly Wiggly, the official supermarket of Fox Sports Wisconsin. By Ho Chunk Gaming Wisconsin, your ticket to more. And by Marshfield Clinic. Don't just live, shine. 6-1. The Brewers now trailing after a 5-run explosion by the Diamondbacks in the 3rd. Randy Wolf will lead off. Ian Kennedy back on the mound, coming off 3 up, 3 down in the 2nd inning. He's retired 6 in a row after the first 2 Brewers reached on hits. Nori Aoki and Nigel Morgan, the Brewers scored in the 1st. And the only run came in on a ground ball by Ramirez.
And now the Brewers trying to fight their way back. Got a lot of baseball to play yet. Sure, for Randy Wolf, that feels a little bit like his start in Arizona in the postseason last year. And again, it was Paul Goldschmidt doing the big damage.
Man, he is seeing the baseball pretty well right now. We talked about him when he came up his first at bat, how well he's been swinging the bat, a potential all-star for Arizona. Both of his hits to the opposite field. He's a big, strong young man.
Diamondbacks very excited about their future. They have key pieces in place, but then they also have a couple of young guys up from the minor leagues. Goldschmidt arrived last year. This year, Trevor Bauer. Goldschmidt will scoop it up, flip it to Kennedy for the first out. Time now for our carsoup.com email the booth question. Chase in New Berlin wants to know, what do you remember most about the Brewers winning the series versus the Diamondbacks in the playoffs last year? And we had a chance to ask that question to Carlos Gomez.
This is unbelievable, you know, like scored a run to be more closer to be in the World Series and the winning team, and in that situation like that, and extra inning is something like you're gonna remember for the rest of your life. You got the tape. Sometimes you put it on and see that how exciting. And this has pumped me up.
Great moment, and Gomez scored the winning run, of course, and referring to that winning run that sent the Brewers to the NLCS.
And that base hit by Nigel Morgan, and probably one of the best moments in Brewer history. I remember I was up watching the game. It was not working, and I tell you, I couldn't have been more excited. There it is. Called by Bob Uecker. You couldn't ask for a better base runner, a faster base runner at second base. Got the Brewers to the NLCS.
Well, there are a few iconic moments in Brewers franchise history. No doubt the Cecil Cooper RBI in the postseason of 1982, but Nigel Morgan's ranks right up there with him, sending the Brewers to their first postseason series victory since that 1982 season. It had been 29 years between postseason series victories. And Morgan was the man who delivered in the clutch in extra innings of Game 5. Morgan has a hit tonight. Got a man on. Aoki hit by a pitch. See if the Brewers come up with a quick strike here as Morgan gets tied up with a fastball.
And we talked about Kennedy, the fact that he doesn't throw very hard. He'll get up to 91, but he's got a very good changeup. That's his second best pitch. He'll cut his fastball once in a while, but because of that changeup, you always have that in the back of your mind. That 88 to 91 gets on you a little bit quicker than you would think.
Back in there goes Kennedy. Kennedy has great command, and the Diamondbacks as a pitching staff with great command. Matter of fact, they have the fewest walks allowed in Major League Baseball.
That's quite impressive when you consider all the injuries that they've had. A lot of different starters.
Imperative in a hitter's ballpark that you minimize the activity on the bases. And it's interesting that the top 4 teams, 3 of those 4 play in what you would call hitter-friendly ballparks. The Diamondbacks, the Phillies, and the Texas Rangers. Those are the pitching staffs. Top 3 with fewest walks allowed in Major League Baseball. The Twins are the other team on that list.
And the flip side of that, the San Diego Padres have walked 293 batters. Arizona, almost 100 less.
And the Diamondbacks with 196 beginning play today. Kennedy does not have a walk. He's hit a batter. With the 3 base runners represented by 2 singles and a hit by pitch. As Morgan cues one into the outfield and left. And Nigel Morgan with 2 hits And the Brewers putting themselves in a position to climb right back into it with one swing of the bat.
Yeah, Kennedy continued to pound him inside, and finally Nigel able to pull the hands in. And because the pitch was upstairs, he's able to muscle it over the head of Ryan Roberts. Check it out. Fastball in around belt high, and Nigel gets enough of it to squeak it into left field.
So here is Ryan Braun with 2 on and 1 out. Now Braun was up with 2 on in the first inning. He flew out to right. It did advance Aoki to third base, and Nori was able to score on a ground ball. But the Brewers are hoping for much bigger and better things here. Now Braun was an all-star last year. Injured at the All-Star break. But since that time, he is at the top of the heap in some major offensive categories. Fouls it away, took a big cut.
Had a nice pitch to hit.
See the Powerball home run leaderboard rock. Braun with 20, and those 20 home runs good enough to keep him at the top of the league, tied with Carlos Beltran. Corey Hart has 15 now for Milwaukee. That is good enough for 6th in the league. Two on with 1 away. Braun gets under 1. Upton closes in fair territory. And now Aoki will head to third base.
Upton making really no effort to throw the ball in. Didn't look like Aoki wanted to go to third base until Justin Upton kind of gave an indication, I'm not throwing it. Hey ladies, August 18th is Brewers All Access for Women presented by Associated Bank. The event includes a game ticket, a tailgate party, and an exclusive program. Learn more at brewers.com/access.
So 2 gone. Big out for Kennedy to retire Braun, and it's Aramis Ramirez. Always looking to hack on the first pitch. And Ramirez is not necessarily a guy who is looking for a first pitch fastball either.
It looks location. It looks location. If he's looking away and he gets something away, it doesn't matter what it is. A lot of hitters are like that. Much rather know if it's going to be in or out as opposed to curveball, fastball.
2 outs in the inning. Diamondbacks scoring 5 in the third in the top of this inning. Brewers trying to answer. Had a good cut, but it's 0-1.
I wonder how much that tender elbow is affecting Ryan Braun, because he's had 3 pretty good pitches to hit tonight, and he's just a little bit behind. That's ordinarily not something you see from Braun. He usually squares up on those fastballs that are mistakes.
That's the piston in that engine, that lead elbow.
Yeah. That's what gets everything going at the plate.
Aramis Ramirez talked about how good he's been lately for the Brewers. Take his last 30 games, he's been able to raise his batting average nearly 50 points.
all the way up to 265, and that's some pretty good hitting based on where he was. You know, about mid-May, he was around the 200 mark.
30 games ago, he was hitting 218. Hit 325 during that stretch and started play today with a 266 average. Little tapper coming in, Roberts. And a barehanded play is in time to get Aramis Ramirez. Inning over. Good play by Ryan Roberts. And the Brewers come up empty. They strand a pair in the third inning. 6-1 Diamondbacks. We'll go to the fourth.
Brewers off to a good start in the first inning. Ramirez able to drive in Aoki, who singled in the first with a fielder's choice. That was until a 5-run third inning by the Diamondbacks. 5 runs on 5 hits, culminated with a Paul Goldschmidt 3-run homer off of Randy Wolf, and it's 6-1.
Those 5 hits came in succession in the third inning before there was an out. A couple of little flares in that inning that and an infield hit. But nothing cheap about Goldschmidt's shot deep into right center. Ian Kennedy will start it for the Diamondbacks here in the fourth inning. Two balls, 2 strikes. No pitcher at the plate has walked more than Ian Kennedy since 2010. He's shown a good eye. He's been a threat and somebody that Kurt Gibson has used on occasion off the bench as Wolf makes quick work of him here in the fourth. Picks up a strikeout, and that is the 4th K for Randy Wolf. All have been looking. AT&T trivia question tonight. Who led the Brewers in batting average versus Arizona in the 2011 NLDS? Good question.
Do you get a summer shandy if you know it?
There's a bunt by Bloomquist, and that'll roll foul.
Jake's not here anymore.
What was the other one I like? I like the winter
winter wheat
drift.
Winter wheat? Oh no, the new one you're talking about. You see, he hits the edge of the grass right there, and I think it helped Randy Wolf. Ball spinning foul. Gotta love the slow motion on the foul ball.
Even bunts look great in Exmo, right? And Wolf wisely grabs it foul. By the way, Wolf has 5 strikeouts, I beg your pardon, and all have been looking.
You can tell Jake's a good marketer because he described those things beautifully, didn't he? Didn't he make you thirsty just listening to him?
Very poetic. Bloomquist double to start the third inning. That was the big inning. He's 1 for 2. He's done a nice job for Kirk Gibson, whatever role he's been asked to play. The Diamondbacks did get their shortstop back, Stephen Drew, on Wednesday, but it's going to be a little sporadic with playing time for Drew as he comes back from major ankle surgery, an injury he sustained last year against the Brewers. Bloomquist shoots one over to Weeks, who bobbles, and Bloomquist is safe. Ricky Weeks is having a tough day at second base.
And the Brewers defensively have been very strong for the last month. Able to climb the ladder in the National League as far as team defense. Coming in right now, the Brewers' 4th best defense in all the National League, only 43 errors. Very unlike Ricky Weeks to not handle a routine ground ball.
7th error for Weeks this year. Ricky had a couple of game savers in Cincinnati. Had one late to preserve the Brewers' victory on Wednesday. And it has been an area of major improvement from the start of the season. The Brewers' defense.
Perhaps one of the reasons, with all the injuries, the Brewers brought up from the farm system some pretty good defenders. When you consider the guys that they've been able to bring in, not necessarily from the farm system. Cody Ransom, very good defensively. Edwin Masonette, solid. And behind home plate, Maldonado's done a nice job. Sometimes when you get very good defenders, you give up a little bit of offense.
And the Brewers essentially without the bottom 3 position players in their batting order, 3 players that were counted on to bring some offense to the table. Jonathan Lucroy, Alex Gonzalez. That one is hit high and deep. Aaron Hill sending Braun back to the wall, and that one's gone. Aaron Hill with a 2-run homer. And it is now 8-1 Arizona. Diamondbacks can bang. That is their 10th consecutive game with a home run. They've hit 2 tonight. And after the Weeks error, Aaron Hill goes deep, his 3rd hit. He's a triple shy of the cycle right now. We're only in the 4th inning.
Aaron Hill, he's got some pretty good pop in his bat for a second baseman. And that one, no doubt, are out there in the Fridays.
Well, Aaron Hill hit for the cycle already this year, just a couple of weeks ago against the Mariners. And he's a triple away from it tonight.
He's got the easy one left, right? Oh, actually, the triple is not the easiest. You're right. The tough one.
Justin Upton takes low. Well, you figure he's going to get at least 2 more at-bats. I don't know.
Are you rooting for him?
Just saying. There's a lot of baseball to be played. And he's a triple away from the cycle. That one's hit well into left, but slightly off to into the bat. Upton flies out for the 2nd out of the inning.
It seems like every time Randy Wolf leaves one up in the strike zone, the Diamondbacks are getting a very good swing at it. That's ordinarily what happens. And, lately, Randy Wolf has been able to keep the ball down pretty well. Having a rough time of it tonight.
One of those nights. Brewers starting pitching has been so good we haven't seen many of these games. I think that's been the chief frustration for Milwaukee. The fact that they've been in all these games. They've played well. They've actually had late leads and they just have not been able to come up with the victories as often as they'd like. And they find themselves in a deep, deep hole. They're on the 29th of June. They're 7 back, Milwaukee, of Cincinnati. Reds got shut out last night. on a one-hitter by Madison Bumgarner and the San Francisco Giants.
How about those guys? What's that, 4 in a row?
4 straight games for the Giants with shutout baseball. They have not allowed a run. They swept the Dodgers, didn't score 1 run. Kubel strikes out. The inning is over. 6 strikeouts for Wolf, all of them looking, but a lot of damage in between them all. 8 runs in on 9 hits, the second homer of the game. Aaron Hill goes deep. We head to the bottom of the 4th. Eight to 1, the Diamondbacks have the lead as we head to the bottom of the 4th inning. Been a rough night at the office for the Brew Crew so far. See if Corey Hart can give them something to cheer about. Great night for baseball tonight. The heat wave hopefully is past us for this summer. Brewers were on the road for most of that hot weather, but
it's been a while since the 3-game series after a week-long road trip and then back out a week. Talking to the Brewers, they feel like they haven't been home too much, and they haven't.
Yeah, just a 3-game homestand last time around against the Blue Jays and right back out. So Brewers will be able to enjoy some time at home. You also have the All-Star break coming up.
A 4-day All-Star break and then followed by a nice long homestand.
Only road games in that window are 3 games in Houston right before the All-Star break. After this 7-game homestand concludes, Brewers have the Diamondbacks over the weekend and then the Miami Marlins. Our first look at the Marlins this year, a team that has been reeling as of late as Hart takes a called strike 3 as we check in with Telly Hughes. What do you have, Telly?
Well, Brian, let's check in with the crew in the community. Earlier today, Giovanni Gallardo joined representatives from Foley and Lautner and the Brewers Community Foundation for a guided tour of the Hunger Task Force. This is the 5th year Hunger Task Force has been the beneficiary of K's for a Cause. Throughout the season, Foley partners, associates, and staff donate a set amount to the program for every strikeout reported by a Brewers pitcher at Miller Park. Gallardo and Zach Greinke have joined the cause by pledging as well. You can make a pledge per strikeout or a one-time donation by visiting hungertaskforce.org or text out hunger by texting food to 52000 to donate $10 using your cell phone. Brian?
All right, thanks, Telly. Our good friends at the Hunger Task Force, right next door here at Miller Park. Ricky Weeks with 1 away. He's 0 for 1 tonight. Ian Kennedy has given up 3 hits. Only base runners he has allowed have been at the top of the order. Aoki and Morgan have both reached twice. Morgan has 2 hits. And Aoki with a single and a hit batter. The Powerball home run count, we take it back to Wednesday.
Ricky Weeks with his 6th of the season. Got the Brewers off and running Wednesday in that victory over Cincinnati, driving in the first 2 runs. Snapping a long drought, a homerless drought for Weeks.
And doing it against a guy that he's had a lot of success against, Homer Bailey. One of those things. I mean, certain pitchers, certain hitters just see him pretty well and have a lot of success. That was the 11th hit for Ricky Weeks in 20 at bats. That home run against Bailey.
Ricky Weeks, part of the brother combination in the big leagues. Ricky and his younger brother Jamal Weeks, who is the second baseman for the Oakland Athletics. Keeping close tabs on each other. There's a strike call. Kennedy finding the edges. And back-to-back strikeouts, his first 2 of the ball game.
They have one a fastball in, this one a fastball away, and Henry Blanco holding it there for Angel Hernandez, who's had a generous strike zone tonight. But that looked like a good pitch.
Kennedy has been inconsistent this year. He still has some terrific starts on his season register this season, but hasn't been able to back him up. And he's coming off a rough start his last time out against the Cubs, giving up 5 runs in 4 1/3. Got off to a great start. He was 3-0 in the month of April. Had a complete game loss against the Angels. There was a stretch there where Kennedy lost 5 consecutive decisions in the month of May and went 6 weeks without a victory during that time.
It's awfully hard to back up a 21-win season. Not many can do it.
Gutierrez strikes out to end the inning. Kennedy punches out the side in the 4th.
Tonight's time of the game winner is the Pizza Factory in Princeton. That's in Green Lake County. If you didn't know, BA. But you knew.
Sell pizza there.
Yep. If they call the Brewers in the next 24 hours, they get 40 Miller Lite beer pen tickets to a Brewers home game. It's offered courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
Princeton, that's the home of the big flea market. Got a big flea market. It's kind of fun to hang out sometimes.
Where's our map? We have a map that Pat Rogo brought up here.
We do indeed, as you see Tim Dillard. Randy Wolf is out, gives up 8 runs, 7 earned in 4 innings tonight. And Tim Dillard will take over in the 5th. Yeah, for a long time there was a kind of a staple here in the booth.
The giant map of Wisconsin.
Anytime you had a tavern of the game winner in a city that's not recognizable, you'd go to the map and there you have it. And it made us look smart, but it disappeared. But now it's back.
Well, we make this smooth segue to our trivia question, brought to you by AT&T. Who led the Brewers in batting average versus Arizona in the LDS last year? And if you answered Ryan Braun, you would be correct. That's always a good guess. 9 hits for the soon-to-be MVP at that point. I just saw the map earlier today. Has it been confiscated again?
Let me see.
It's a pretty popular item. I wouldn't mind taking a look at it. We should have given it to Jake Leinenkugel. He could have tracked his family road trip. Big cut and a miss by Chris Young. You're back. You just had to go get it?
I was told to go get it.
Nice.
It's not often I take the headsets off in the middle of an inning, but I was told to go get it. Right here.
Here's the map.
Yep. Right here. All the different counties in Wisconsin. You know, the bigger the letters, you know, the town, the bigger the town, obviously. So you have these real tiny little names.
I see.
Yeah.
It's a good map. It's good for a white balance as well if you need it. Let me know when you locate Princeton.
I'm looking for Green County, Green Lake County. Having a tough time with it. Game's out there.
Oh, go ahead. I got the game. You do your thing over there. Let us know when you're ready.
I'm looking at it.
2-2 pitch, and Young fouls it back.
There's Princeton right there.
There you go.
Yeah, just west of Fond du Lac.
This is not too far north.
Here's Fond du Lac County. Here's Green Lake County. Princeton right there.
All right.
Okay. Now is everybody happy?
Yeah. Keep that handy. I like that.
Okay. Got it.
It'd be more TV friendly if it was black with white lettering. I'm just saying. But our thanks to Pat Rogo. Are we sure that map's updated? That's been in the Pat Rogo closet for a while, along with a few other things.
If Pat gave it to us, it's good.
That's for sure.
It is.
Well, Chris Young hanging in there. Young got sat down for 3 days from the starting lineup. He did have a pinch hit home run on Wednesday, and then he started yesterday. Kirk Gibson saying it's not an injury situation. They just had to get Young some time off to work on his swing. You know, it's not like you're going to send Young to the minor leagues, but he was working extensively trying to correct a mechanical flaw.
He's got a bad shoulder. His right shoulder is all messed up. That's why he went on the disabled list. And you know, before he went on the DL, he was swinging the bat pretty well. Since that time, hitting about 150.
He was on the DL until May 18th. There's a strike call. Dillard rings the bell, and Young is retired. Second time he has struck out in this game.
Yeah, come out to Miller Park as the Brewers take on the Miami Marlins July 2nd through the 5th. For tickets, call 414-902-4000 or visit Brewers.com.
Tim Dillard's first inning in relief of Randy Wolf, who didn't have it tonight. Ryan Roberts takes a ball. You know, we were talking about these games lately for the Brewers and how close they have been. That's no prize.
No consolation at all, but yeah, you're right.
The Brewers in their last 9 losses, 7 of those 9 losses
have been by 1 run. The other 2 by 2 runs. The pitching's been very good. The Brewers just haven't hit much. And then the days where they have hit, the pitching has given up just enough runs.
Yeah, so this is a very unusual start to a game for Ron Roenicke. Not used to this. Not just giving up the runs, but a very short start. 4 innings is all for Randy Wolf.
Ryan Roberts checking on the count here. We've got it at 2-0. And a double play ball. Is Turris to Weeks. 6-4-3 double play to end the inning. Ian Kennedy back on the mound, and he's given up just 1 run. The Brewers scored first tonight, but the Diamondbacks have scored 8 unanswered, and it's 8-1 as we play in the bottom of the 5th inning. Cesaris Turris leads off. D-backs tied it in the 2nd, scored 5 in the 3rd, and then 2 more in the 4th. A couple of home runs. Aaron Hill and Paul Goldschmidt. Both Hill and Goldschmidt with 3 hits in this game. Kennedy strikes out as Turris. That is the 4th consecutive strikeout for Ian Kennedy. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Milwaukee Brewers. May not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent of the Good Rebels and the Milwaukee Brewers Baseball Club. Travis Ishikawa will pinch hit for Dillard. Dillard goes 1 inning. Levan Hernandez preparing for some work. The always entertaining Levan Hernandez. Any plans to go to Summerfest, Rock? You got enough time in your busy schedule?
Man, well, I'm probably going to end up down there. I'm not sure which day. Maybe tomorrow. After the game. Head down and grab a couple of summer shandies. And Take in some music.
Ishikawa strikes out. That is 5 consecutive strikeouts. Boy, Ian Kennedy, he's found a new gear here. Well, fans, you have a number of ways to get interactive with us on social media each night during our broadcast. You can tweet your questions to our handle at FS Wisconsin, and make sure you're following Bill Schroeder and Craig Cashon on Twitter at their handles, at Brewers Fan Camp and at Craig Cashon. You can also connect with our Game Connect page at foxsportswisconsin.com. You see, Craig's kind of pushed his way into the act here.
Nah, there's no competition.
He X'd out a Twitter handle first.
Right. Just being a team player. You know what I do on my Twitter account?
What's that, Rod?
I kind of just give scouting reports on the 2 pitchers before the game, and some information gets disseminated. You know, some interesting statistics about some of the stuff that's going on.
Aoki bounces to short, and he beats it out. Nori Aoki with an infield hit. His second hit on base for the 3rd time. Taking nothing for granted. He legs one out.
Well, ends this string of 5 consecutive strikeouts for Kennedy. Bloomquist tries to surround that ground ball, but Aoki getting down the line really well, and you can see he's actually starting to run to first as he swings the bat. Gives him a head start and beats it. And that's kind of the way I use my Twitter account. I don't tweet out that I'm going to go fill up my gas tank, that type of thing.
You're making information that you would say the old-fashioned way, verbally, for the social media crowd before you say it.
Right.
It's nice.
Just trying to make the game experience a little bit more interesting.
How about Nori Aoki? We've seen him on a few occasions.
There he goes.
Both feet off the ground.
He's on his way. He makes contact and he's already running.
They were hovering. That might be a good fantasy camp drills. Speaking of at Brewers Fan Camp. See if you can make contact with both feet off the ground.
There's a lot of that in fantasy camp. The trick is to get
contact is the hard part.
The trick in fantasy camp a lot of times is to make sure that at least 1 foot is on the ground when you make contact. They have a good time though, campers.
If you're looking at a per camper ratio, how many blown hammies are we talking about?
I mean, describe blown. It's a hammy. I mean, just maybe bothering them.
That would be a 1-to-1 ratio.
Now you're laughing because you know that from experience,
I
don't
do.
you?
Twice I've been there, and my hammies have still not been the same. That cord gets tight.
Yes, it does.
As the years go by.
Not used to using it like that.
I love the guys who start fantasy camp in the spikes, and by day 3 they're in their jogging shoes. Spikes are hard to stand on for doubleheaders every day.
Absolutely, you betcha. Especially when you're 45, 50 years old.
Morgan strikes out. Kennedy for the 2nd straight inning strikes out the side.
Over this game as we move to the 6th inning. It is 8-1. And we welcome you back. Got some company in the booth here. The boss is here, Mark Ananasio, Dan, the good Rebels.
I'm smiling because my son's here, not because I like the way the game's going. Just so the fans know.
Very conflicted here with the boss and, of course, Bill Schroeder. So Dan is playing tomorrow at Summerfest, so we want to promote that show. Dan, how's it? Wait a minute. Now, it used to be Pan Am, right? Now it's Good Rebels?
We are the Good Rebels now.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
And tell us about playing Summerfest. You're an old veteran now playing Summerfest.
Yeah, we've played a bunch of years. It's always one of the highlights of our summer. It's an incredible festival, and we're incredibly excited to be here and play again this year.
Rocking out there in that video there, Dan.
Always rocking out.
Just like that. Dan never, he plays like the excitement level, but he's got some good licks going on there. I like him. So that's tomorrow. Tell us about it, Dan. It's going to be 2:30 tomorrow at the Summerfest grounds. And then, of course, baseball. So we got
2:30 Summerfest, 6 o'clock baseball.
You can do both.
Doubleheader of Atanasios.
Enjoying both. We'll be at Summerfest at 2:30, and we'll be here back at Miller Park at 6 o'clock.
Now, because the name is changed, it doesn't mean the sound is any different, right?
Same sound.
Good
Still going to be rocking out rock.
Rocking out rock.
There you go.
Rock, we got to get you out there.
That could be a title for your next song. We encourage people to write songs about us, but only ones that are in the positive nature. There are a few songs out there about us already.
Yeah, a few rhymes.
Start with a verse. You guys will be playing the Miller Lite Oasis at 2:30. That's what I'm told here. As Henry Blanco strikes out. Dan, you guys played some pretty interesting places like Whiskey A Go-Go, and I mean, you're getting into some pretty good business right now where you're getting some
Viper Room, Dan, at the Viper Room this year.
We were at the Viper Room. My dad was there to see the show.
That is your dad?
I was at the Viper Room, and this woman came over to me, and she said, excuse me, are you one of the parents?
Has he ever been on stage with you?
No,
Dad? No?
Not yet.
No? Maybe tomorrow night at Summerfest? Tomorrow afternoon, rather.
That would bring things down a little bit.
We just had Jake Leinenkugel up here. Maybe you guys could get together, and that might be the reason you'd go up.
The band has a song, How Come You Can Bring Me So Low? If I go on stage, that's what they'll be playing.
Well, I guess you're a proud papa, though, watching your son. I mean, you got two great sons. They're highly educated and artistic as well. That's very cool.
Well, this guy's artistic. The other one we'll see.
he's an athlete.
He's more on the athletic side of things. But and Dan's also a writer. He's got a couple of screenplays going around Hollywood.
Wow.
And just give him a little plug here.
Man.
And he doesn't want me to talk about him because he doesn't want to jinx anything.
You don't want to give us any give us an idea of what you're working on? Not yet?
Not yet.
See, he mentioned it. Now we got to ask you.
No, if stuff works out, I'd be happy to talk about it.
Well, we gotta find out about that. Anytime you could write rock or BA in the script would be great too, because we are always wanting to make a cameo. Something I've always enjoyed.
I think maybe we should do. Dan does both drama and comedy. I don't know. You think rock and BA would be more comedy or drama?
Both.
I think
both.
I think he'd be more drama. I'd be more comedy, I think. What do you think?
Well, I think you guys have both in you each.
There you go.
Dan Atanasio, part of the Good Rebels.
They had to change the name because there was a band down in Australia, New Zealand.
New Zealand.
Yeah.
They were Pan Am.
That was a couple of years ago you were Pan Am. I mean, they just found out about you guys?
I guess, which I guess is a good thing if they knew about us.
Did they do it in a nice way, or were they?
Yeah, they're pretty cool. Yeah, no, so we changed it.
Bloomquist, great diving stop is Turris, and he cannot get up to make the play. A base hit for Willie Bloomquist.
Now, what time will you get down to the Summerfest grounds for a 2:30 gig?
Just like an hour and a half before.
So there's not a whole lot of warming up or anything. You got people to set up your stuff.
There's a sound check, and we do a little bit of rocking. But not too much rocking. Yeah, the bass will be plugged in, amplified, and so it's incredibly fun.
Not bad. Getting up there and doing that.
Say hello to our buddy John Bowler. Summerfest is off and running. We want to wish all of our friends over at Summerfest who do such a great job putting that
music festival together, closely tied in, and they do a great job, and it's really a fun time, Mark, to do a little Summerfest. Come over here, watch the Brewers. You guys have done a nice job connecting the two.
Yeah, Bowler's been great helping us get set up. Don Smiley and Bob Babish, all of them. I want to thank you guys. And frankly, one of the great things about coming to Wisconsin for the summer, besides Brewers baseball, is to head over to Summerfest.
Aaron Hill drives that one into right center field, and that's going to get down. He is a triple away from the cycle, and he is going to go for it. The throw by Weeks is late, and for the second time this year, Aaron Hill has hit for the cycle.
Man.
And he's done it in the same month. He did it just 2 weeks ago.
Some kind of year that the Diamondbacks have had. And that wasn't a bad pitch by Hernandez. That slider was off the corner, and Aaron Hill going right with it. The Diamondbacks have put together some pretty good at-bats tonight on pitches that actually weren't even strikes. By the time Niger gets it in, Aaron Hill, knowing he needs a triple, he takes off, and with 2 outs, slides in safely.
Well, you knew he wasn't going to stop. His 4th hit of the ball game, and Aaron Hill goes double, single, homer, triple. That is unbelievable that he would A, have a cycle, B, have 2 in the same year, C, have 2 in the same month.
Right.
Did it June 18th against the Mariners.
And don't forget Paul Goldschmidt. He's a triple away. And only in the 6th inning.
So it is 9-1 Arizona. And a 2-0 count on Justin Upton. Dan Atanasio is with us. He and Mark. And right off the leg of Livan Hernandez, he'll make the play to end the inning. Well, Dan, we wish you the best of luck. We're going to hear some highlights for tomorrow. We'll get the tape, play it back. Good luck.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we're incredibly excited to play. Thanks for having us on.
Wisconsin Lottery reminding you to please play responsibly. Buy the new Miller Lite Punch Top can. It's Miller time. And buy the new Summer Barbecue Menu at Burger King. Let's have a barbecue today. Back at Miller Park, and a little bit of history here for Aaron Hill, who has hit for the 2nd cycle of the season. The last player to go for 2 cycles in the same year, Babe Herman of the Brooklyn Robins, they were known. They would ultimately be the Brooklyn Dodgers and then the Los Angeles Dodgers. Babe Herman in 1931 as Braun rips a base hit. And the Brewers have a base runner against Ian Kennedy to start the 6th inning. It's 9-1 Arizona.
Well, Brony taking that fastball down, right down the middle. Ryan's had a couple of pitches like that to swing at. First couple of times up, he popped him up, but boy, he's able to center on that last one.
And Aramis Ramirez now. Well, thanks to Dan Atanasio, and it's funny because Mark is about as competitive as it gets. Mark Atanasio, he's here and he's watching this unfold, and you can almost see Dan kind of taking a look at his old man like, am I supposed to get out of here? Or but Mark's a good sport about it. But
right.
We were talking between innings, and he is a very frustrated owner right now, and you can understand why. He has invested a great deal in this team. The Brewers team payroll is over $100 million for the first time ever. And this game aside, the Brewers have actually pitched pretty well over this stretch, but not tonight. It's 9-1. The Diamondbacks doing what they want offensively.
Yeah, he is a competitor, to say the least. I mean, he's into it. He wants his team to do well, and you could just see it in his face when things aren't going well.
Ramirez, a liner to second, and the first out of the inning. Now the Bucks' 2 draft picks, John Henson and Dorn Lamb, were in Milwaukee today to check out their new place of work, find out how their winning backgrounds could benefit the Bucks in Paul Nimick's story at foxsportswisconsin.com. John Henson from UNC and Lamb, a Kentucky Wildcat. Great college programs. Back up the middle. Hill is there. A shovel to short. Bloomquist will eat it. And the second out of the inning.
A couple of pretty well hit baseballs by Ramirez and Hart end up as outs. A line drive, and the Diamondbacks incorporating the shift on Corey Hart, able to get that blast up the middle.
So here is Weeks with 2 outs. Now Ian Kennedy tonight with 6 strikeouts, and there was a stretch there in the 4th and the 5th. All 6 outs came via the strikeout. He had struck out 5 in a row before an infield hit by Aoki, and then he struck out Morgan to win the inning. Been a ton of strikeouts in this game. Diamondbacks hitters have struck out 8 times tonight, and the Brewers with 6, but the Diamondbacks with 9 runs on 12 hits. Ricky tonight is 0 for 2. Struck out looking his last time up. That was part of that run of 6 strikeouts. Well, Kennedy tonight looking like his old self from his 21-win season last year. Emergency hack to hang in there.
They bring your 4th of July picnic to the park. Miller Park, that is. Celebrate America with baseball and hot dogs as the Brewers take on the Miami Marlins at 3:10 p.m. Clements hot dogs are $1 each. For tickets, call 414-902-4000 or go to brewers.com.
First look at the Marlins coming in.
Yeah, they're having a tough time. They've lost 8 of 10.
But they have a player that is worth the price of admission to watch. Giancarlo Stanton, formerly known as Mike Stanton. Guy's something else.
I thought you were going to say Jose Reyes.
That's another guy.
They got a couple.
Hanley Ramirez.
Yeah.
And of course, Ozzie Guillen, he's always good for a few sound bites. Slow roller in front of the plate, and Kennedy pulls Goldschmidt off the bag. Weeks is aboard.
You probably think that's going to be a base hit, but we'll see. Would have been a nice play by Ian Kennedy. All in one motion, grabbed it barehanded, and just threw it a little bit up the line. And Ricky saved a good throw, gets him though.
That has been ruled as an error. It's a tough play. I don't think that's a play that's
not routine by any stretch for a pitcher. Got to bounce off the pitching mound like that and all in one motion and get a throw off to first base. That has a chance to be reviewed.
But a man on, so 2 on now. With 2 away for George Kataris. George is 0 for 2 against Kennedy. Seen a lot of swinging bunts in this game against Ian Kennedy. The Brewers out in front, and Kennedy's got that good changeup going.
And the changeup, and a lot of times it's a fastball in on the fists. Brewers a little bit late.
Kataris had one of those swinging bunts back in the second inning. A dribbler out in front of the plate that Blanco made a nice play on it. Crowd of over 38,000 on hand tonight. The official announced attendance. Another great crowd on a Friday night. But not a whole lot to cheer about tonight. Diamondbacks lead 9-1 in their return to Miller Park.
And try to get Kataris to chase a changeup. There it is. Off the outside corner, and George doesn't bite.
Kataris draws a walk. Kennedy's first of the night, and the bases are loaded for the Brew Crew in the 6th. Charles Nagy on his way out, the Diamondbacks pitching coach. Well, Ian Kennedy started a little sluggishly. The Brewers scored against him in the first inning, but he has locked them down since. He's been given a lot of run support tonight.
Now, first 3 innings did not strike out a batter, and then the 4th and 5th came along. He struck out the side in both the 4th and the 5th. He did allow a base hit to Aoki with 2 outs in the 5th, but has not had a strikeout since. All about location for Ian Kennedy.
We'll see if Cesar Izturis can drive in a few here as he swings and misses. Izturis deep to right. That ball's pretty well hit, and it is off the wall. This will bring in 2. As Izturis doubles off the right center field fence. And it's 9-3.
And so the error comes back to haunt Kennedy. An error, then a walk. Cesar Izturis got a fastball up. Make that a curveball. Drops the head of the bat on it and right off that right field wall. Might put a charge into that one. It looked like Justin Upton pulled up short a little bit on that wall.
Well, 2 runs are in with 2 away. Now Taylor Green will pinch hit for Livan Hernandez, and let's hope Hernandez is all right after he was hit by that bouncing ball. Cesar Asturias safe at second, safe and secure. New York Life. And Green pops this one to center field. Chris Young is there, and the side is retired. The Brewers get a couple. Big error led to the 2 RBI double by East Tourist. 9-3 Diamondbacks. Paul Goldschmidt hit a 3-run homer in the 3rd inning. That capped off a 5-run inning. Goldschmidt has 3 hits. He's a triple away from the cycle. Meanwhile, Aaron Hill in his first 4 trips to the plate has a double, a single, a home run, and a triple. He's already hit for the cycle tonight. And the Diamondbacks lead 9-3. Jose Veras is the new Brewer hurler as we go to the 7th inning. There has never been an occasion when 2 players have hit for the cycle in the same game in a Major League Baseball game. Aaron Hill already has the cycle. Paul Goldschmidt, who is due up 2nd in this inning, is a triple away from it.
Well, Jose Veras taking over, the 4th pitcher used by Ron Renicky. Last pitched on Sunday against the White Sox, so it's been a while for Veras. He threw a scoreless 9th inning. He gave up a couple of hits, a couple of walks, but did not give up any runs.
Veras has been struggling, and an opportunity to try to work out some of the kinks. Nine to 3 D-backs as we go to the 7th inning. Jason Kubel will start it. D-backs with 12 hits tonight on through the first 6 innings. Kubel has a hit. He drove in a run with a single in the 3rd. He's 1 for 3. Good off speed has Kubel out in front. Well, tomorrow the Brewers will send up Mike Fiers to face Wade Miley. Fiers coming off a terrific outing against the Chicago White Sox his last time out.
Yep, 7 1/3 scoreless, gave up only 5 hits.
And is slicing, and Braun lays out, can't get it. Great try. As Kubel is aboard with a single. Ryan Braun hit the deck
hard.
Good way to roll over on that wrist.
Good effort from the MVP. In a 9-3 ball game, he's laying out.
A little cue shot off the end of the bat. The big swing, but Nigel Morgan, who was shaded around toward right center, having a tough time getting over there. That one went right off the end of the glove by Ryan Braun.
Paul Goldschmidt. Three hits tonight. Doubled in the second, homered in the third, he singled in the fifth. One cycle accomplished for the Diamondbacks and another cycle watch. Goldschmidt does not run all that well. It's going to be a tough triple for him. That cycle by Aaron Hill, the fifth allowed by the Brewers in their franchise history. Michael Kadire had the last one in 2009.
You're not a guy you would think of as a cycle hitter. Of course, you never know who's going to get those. The triple's a tough one for most guys.
In franchise history, the Brewers went from 1969 to 1980 without allowing a cycle. Kind of a strange anomaly. Gary Ward was the first to do it against the Brewers. Damian Easley, Mark Grudzielanek, and Michael Kadire. As Goldsmith draws the walk, and he's aboard for the fourth time. So 2 on. Nobody out here in the seventh. It's Chris Young. Strike, a breaking ball. Something's going wrong with Veras this year. That's a big part of some of the bullpen struggles. Veras was counted on and hired to be the Brewers' seventh inning pitcher. Getting a lead late in a game, it was supposed to be Veras, then K-Rod and Axford. Veras has really struggled this year. I asked Ron Renicky today if Veras was hurt or had something bothering him. He said, no, not that I know of. It's just been ineffective.
Just having a tough time every now and again throwing his curveball for strikes, and when he's not able to do that, fastball becomes very hittable. And when you rely on a curveball to set up your other pitches, like that pitch there, you can be inconsistent. That's a tough pitch to throw for strikes a lot.
A lot of hitters don't chase it. It's hard to get a called strike with it, especially when you're not ahead of the count. And when Veras is in a high stress moment, he tends to rely heavily on that breaking ball. And I think hitters have figured that out. They're sitting on it. Well, Young strikes out on the curveball. Not when you put it there. That was a beauty. First out of the inning. Our game summary is brought to you by Toyota. It's not a pretty one here tonight so far. Ian Kennedy has given up 3 runs, 2 earned. Actually 1 earned run. And the Diamondbacks with a couple of homers, Goldschmidt and Hill. Hill's hit for the cycle tonight. Goldschmidt a triple away from a cycle. Cesar Turris just driving in a pair of runs in the 6th. 9-3.
And both of the home runs given up by Randy Wolf on curveballs. Both of them up in the strike zone. One to left, one to right center.
Tough night for Randy Wolf tonight. 4 innings, 8 runs, 7 earned. Although he did strike out 6.
spinner for a strike on Ryan Roberts, who is hitless tonight. He's one of the few Diamondbacks regulars that have gone hitless. Matter of fact, Roberts and Chris Young have combined to go 0 for 7. But everybody else is doing damage. Kirk Gibson has a challenge now that Stephen Drew is back on how he's going to mix and match his infielders. Basically has 5 guys he's trying to use from second, short, and third. And just trying to find playing time because these are all guys that have contributed. Willie Bloomquist and John McDonald were key figures in their pennant drive last year after Stephen Drew was hurt. You know Aaron Hill's going to continue to get his starts at second base. Roberts and Bloomquist can play the outfield, but outfield situation pretty well set with Arizona this year.
That's going to come down to who's swinging the bat. Roberts, you remember when the Brewers were in Arizona, Roberts was having an awful time at the plate. But that was at a point in time where, you know, Drew was on a disabled list and he was getting a lot of playing time. McDonald's a slick fielder. McDonald. Remember, McDonald hit a home run off of Zach Greinke back in Arizona.
Yeah, they all have power. But Drew's their starter at short. He's not going to be an everyday player for, I would guess, what do you think, Rock? He had a bad ankle injury last year, maybe 2-3 weeks.
Yep.
I mean, it's going to be a little bit before he's able to give you 5 starts a week.
Yeah, he's not going to be completely healed from that injury until next year. 100%.
That was a gruesome injury at home plate, and that was against Milwaukee last July. Stephen Drew likely to be in the starting lineup tomorrow. He returned on Wednesday. But when your team's playing well, and the Diamondbacks are, having won 5 of their last 7 games, that old saying, the bat plays it. But I imagine for a manager, it's hard to know when to pull a plug on a guy, give him a day off. And you know, he's got a 5-man weave going with 3 infield spots right now. All part of managing, though. Veras snares it, takes care of Blanco to end the inning. Scoreless 7th for Jose Veras. Stretch time in Milwaukee. Diamondbacks 9-3. Kennedy, a 21-game winner a season ago. He has had a rough season so far. He's 5-7, but he is back to his old form here tonight. And he has handcuffed the Brewers He's given up 3 runs, but only 1 of them is earned. Kennedy has had everything going tonight. All of his array of pitches. With 6 strikeouts thus far. He's back out there to start a 7th inning. And Nori Aoki to start it. Aoki has not been retired tonight. 2 hits and a hit by pitch. Aoki at the plate, presented by Wendy's. And another one comes in there tight. Kennedy pitches inside about as well as anyone in the National League with his great command.
Yeah, just trying to get Aoki off the plate a little bit. Pitch inside, up and in, then you throw a changeup.
Defensive swing, and Aoki strikes out. He was just trying to foul that one off to stay alive. Now the basics of baseball being executed after our games here at Miller Park. You can stay tuned to the Brewers Live postgame show, break down the techniques and strategies of the game, and our postgame instructional. Jerry Augustine is in instructional mode tonight with Bill Schroeder. What do we got? We got holding the runner at first base.
Different ways that first baseman will play that. Some guys are right on the bag. Other guys are a little bit in front of first base. You know, getting off the bag, off the line a little bit.
And what will your role be tonight? The first baseman?
I haven't really discussed that with Augie yet.
Who's in charge? Who's quarterbacking the instructional tonight, would you say, at this point? Is that a Bill Schroeder call or a Jerry call?
It is a group effort.
I don't think so. Morgan flies to left for out number 2.
You know what I'd like to see? You come down and help us out from time to time.
I'll do it one of these days. It'll take a lot of planning. It's kind of like your Twitter page, you know, a lot of build-up and planning.
You do need a third, you know.
Somebody to dive back to first base?
No, not even that. It would help. We've asked Craig in the past, but
he's busy, as am I.
A little bit busy, and
a lot of post-game
I don't really
follow-up to do, you know.
I don't really trust Craig with a baseball in his hand.
Or a bat. Craig used to be down on the field with you guys.
Yeah.
Until you shamed him up into the chalet up there. Craig's got a mean streak in him, so you gotta watch out. He's got a quick trigger.
That's why I don't want a baseball in his hand.
Those competitive juices.
It's not that he can't throw, which he can. I just, you know, sometimes he does get a little angry.
Ryan Braun with 2 away.
Now Augie, I've never seen Augie actually angry.
Cool as a cucumber. Did you happen to catch the ball game yesterday? Augie was working the game in Appleton. Ron Renicky was there watching his son Lance, and
did an interview, right?
Yeah, came up to the booth. Ron was kind enough to join him. I think Ron saw his son Lance get 5 hits in the last 2 days.
He's good luck.
That's a pretty big jump for Lance Renicky. Straight out of college, right to the Midwest League, and he's really swinging the bat well. I know his dad was happy to see it.
You think Ron can go into that ballpark kind of inconspicuous?
I don't think so. Not these days. As Braun is retired, Kennedy a 1-2-3 7th. We go to the 8th inning. The Diamondbacks lead 9-3 from Miller Park. Baseball Night in America on Fox with Bill Schroeder and Eric Collins on the call tomorrow. And then back on Fox Sports Wisconsin Sunday for the final game of the series with the D-backs. And Monday, the Miami Marlins come to town. Marlins won tonight. They beat the Phillies 6-2. Big Josh Johnson won for the 5th time. Cliff Lee lost tonight and is still winless for the year. He is 0-5. Cliff Lee.
Imagine that.
Cameron Lowe is in for the Brew Crew as we play in the 8th inning. 9-3 Diamondbacks.
Yeah, Cameron Lowe, very good his last time out. That was Wednesday against the Reds. In a Brewers day game win in Cincinnati, tossed a perfect 7th inning and struck out a batter.
Gerardo Parra will hit. Parra will hit for Kennedy, who goes 7 strong tonight and looking for his 6th win of the year. Randy Wolf started. Lasted 4 innings, gave up 7 earned runs. Tim Dillard worked an inning. Jose Veras an inning.
When you play it like that, you really don't affect your bullpen too much. It's when you have a couple of guys pitch multiple innings, that's when you really put yourself in a bad spot for the following game. But 1 inning, no big deal, particularly after an off day yesterday. Guys probably need the work anyway.
Now the question mark is Livan Hernandez, who pitched an inning and was hit on the leg on a comebacker. He made the play to end the inning, but a little bit of concern there with Livan Hernandez. You felt like Hernandez was going to be out there for a few innings. That's typically why he would pitch.
That's one of the reasons that the Brewers were anxious to get him.
So I have not heard anything from the Brewers clubhouse, but Hernandez lasted just the 1 inning. Oh, 2 on Gerardo Parra, the Gold Glove Award winner in the outfield last year. And his playing time has been sporadic as he hits that one hard to left. Braun with room will make the catch for the 1st out.
Hey, you were talking about the infield for the Diamondbacks that's been hard to break in. How about Gerardo Parra? I mean, here's a guy that was one of the reasons that they got to the playoffs last year, and he has a tough time getting in the starting lineup. It's going to be a challenge for that man right there, Kirk Gibson, to make everybody happy or keep everybody happy on this roster. It's a pretty good roster too, with some guys on the bench, particularly tonight, that can help you.
Bloomquist into center field for the 2nd out. I think what aids Gibson in that category, the fact that Willie Bloomquist, John McDonald, these are guys who have been around a while. They understand their role. Ultimate professionals. They're not going to be squawking about playing time. As Aaron Hill digs in, and Aaron Hill making history here tonight. In his first at bat, he doubled, bounced one out for a ground rule double. Hill had a single in the 3rd inning, then he homered in the 4th. He tripled in the 6th. He's hit for the cycle for the 2nd time this year. And he's done it in the same month. Babe Herman, the last to hit for 2 cycles in the same season, 1931.
What's that, 11 days? 11 days apart?
Yeah, that's right.
18th?
The 18th against the Mariners. And here tonight, these are the all-time 2 cycles in a season. I mean, you got to go way back. We're talking about the old American Association days with
Tip O'Neill, the Speaker of the House.
That's right, John Riley. Tip O'Neill.
I never knew he played.
Yeah, he goes way back. Needless to say, that was a different game back then in the 1800s.
Dave Herman played for the Brooklyn Robins.
Well, the day hasn't been long enough, George. Take that.
Dean Roscoe rocking out on the old organ right there.
And no mail in for him.
No, he's as Hill strikes out and Cameron Lowe is retired. He retires Aaron Hill to win the inning.
Down 6 runs, but unfortunately for the Brewers, this one set early with the stage by Randy Wolf in that 3rd inning was tough for him to get going. First 5 batters reached, including a big home run, and turned out to be his shortest outing of the season. Just 4 innings, 7 earned runs.
Well, you know, the one thing that you worry about Randy Wolf and going through the struggles, not having wins, leaving games with the lead. Some of the times what you try to do is you go out and you try to be too fine, try to do too much. It looked like tonight Randy was overthrowing a little bit, didn't get to have his good breaking ball, getting the ball up in his zone, and the Diamondbacks were swinging the bat awful well, took advantage of him.
Yeah, their offense is cranking uphill, of course, with the cycle already in this game as well, but Brewers still have some chances left here in Game 1. Jerry and I will cover it. Brewers Live post-game after the game. We'll hear from Ron Renneke and the players as well, Brian and Bill.
All right, Craig and Augie, thanks. As Ramos Ramirez leads off, Brad Ziegler, the new Diamondbacks pitcher. Ramirez goes down the right field line, slicing, and that is foul. Our text question tonight, courtesy of Ho Chunk Gaming. Trevor in Stevens Point asks, Bill, have you ever been in a game when a batter is hit for the cycle?
I don't recall.
Well, we had that list a minute ago.
Well, I know Robin Yount, I mean an opposing player, or Robin Yount hit for the cycle when I was with the Brewers. I was in Chicago against the White Sox.
Ramirez out to Bloomquist.
I'm trying to think if an opposing player ever hit for the cycle. I don't remember.
Mark Grudzielanek would have been past your time.
That's right. We had that list.
I don't think it fits in the Bill Schroeder Milwaukee Brewer era.
Not in the window.
Not in the window.
The only one that was the Robin Yount cycle.
And it left a lasting impression. Charlie Moore, maybe?
What year was that?
That was before your time.
No.
1980.
I don't remember that one.
Robin Yount did it in '88.
Yeah, I was there.
Against the White Sox.
Yeah, I was there for that.
As Hart bounces out. You know what's interesting about cycles? Obviously, they don't happen that often, but if you compare them to no-hitters, and everybody remembers no-hitters, right? Aaron Hill was the 294th cycle officially registered. So 294 cycles in the major leagues. There have been 272 no-hitters. Thanks to our friends from Stats Inc. So it's almost as rare as a no-hitter. And there have been 5 no-hitters this year.
So your conclusion to that is?
It's a rare thing. And to have 2 in 1 year.
So you're saying it should be almost as celebrated as a no-hitter? No? Is that what you're saying?
Not quite, but almost. If you're a Diamondbacks fan, maybe so.
But it's almost as rare, though.
It is. We'll work on a conclusion. We have lots of time remaining as we go to the 9th. Diamondbacks have the lead as we go to the 9th. Well, the stars aligned for the 2012 Major League Baseball All-Star Game. Best of the American League take on the National League's top players. Don't miss the action Tuesday, July 10th, 6:30 p.m. Central on Fox. Anxiously awaiting the All-Star Starters fan voting period, which will be unveiled on Sunday. And hopefully Ryan Braun's going to find his name among the starters. It would be his 5th consecutive All-Star start. Braun's going to be an All-Star. In fact, whether he's going to be a starter or not remains to be seen.
Pretty good chance that Braun will be in that game, and you're probably going to see Zach Greinke as a part of the All-Star game.
That'll be in Kansas City. Won't that be something for Greinke to return to Kansas City as an All-Star if that happens? All of the All-Stars will be unveiled on Sunday. Manny Parra will pitch the 9th. Justin Upton to lead off. Diamondbacks are hoping Paul Goldschmidt can deliver the last step of the cycle. He is a triple away.
And due up 3rd.
Upton, Kubel, and Goldschmidt here in the 9th inning. Aaron Hill has hit for the cycle tonight. Goldschmidt with 3 hits and a walk as Upton bounces to Easturis for the first out. Don't forget to catch the Brewers tomorrow on Fox. Baseball Night in America. National television tomorrow night. Or regionalized coverage of national TV. And then we're back on Fox Sports Wisconsin Sunday. Pitching matchups the rest of this series. Tomorrow,
It's Mike Fiers for the Brewers against Wade Miley, a left-hander. And then Giovanni Gallardo against Josh Colmenter on Sunday.
And Miley's tough. He's got 9 wins. He's 3rd in the National League in earned run average. Brewers saw him in Arizona.
Yeah, he was good. Gallardo beat the Diamondbacks, one of his 6 wins earlier this season. Matter of fact, he beat Ian Kennedy that day. The lone win for the Brewers in that series in Arizona. Gallardo ready to go again on Sunday. That is some amazing hair growth by Giovanni Gallardo. It's like a chia. Just put a little water on it. Kubel sends Braun to the track just in front of it before the second out. I mean, look at that. That is a solid mop.
Right.
Sean Markham threw earlier today. Craig Kashan reported in our Brewers Live pregame, and still bad news on Markham. He still has some tightness in his elbow. So Markham will shut it down again. Here's Goldschmidt on cycle watch. Goldschmidt hit a 3-run homer in the 3rd to cap off a 5-run Diamondback inning. That was the big inning.
That's a good life to that Manny Parra fastball right there. 94 right on his hands.
Goldschmidt slicing one foul. And a souvenir.
He's got a nice opposite field stroke, doesn't he? That was a split-fingered fastball by Manny. Left it up a little bit, but Goldschmidt hit it pretty hard to the right side.
Goldschmidt didn't wait around long in his first 3 at-bats. He swung at the first pitch in each of his first 3 at-bats and produced 3 hits, including a 3-run homer. Pulls out and down the left field line. It just inside the bag, and a fan touches it. So that will be a double for Paul Goldschmidt. 4-hit night, on base 5 times tonight. His first career 4-hit game.
Well, when these guys are swinging the bat well, it really doesn't matter what you throw to him. A split-fingered fastball. He fouled off to the right side. Now look at that pitch. Down and in. Didn't come too far from hitting him in the shin. And he just drops the head of the bat on it and able to hit it inside that third base bag. Even with the fan interference, that would not have been a triple.
He might not have stopped, but it would have been an easy out. 10 total bases for Paul Goldschmidt. Two outs for Chris Young, who is 0 for 4 tonight, with 3 strikeouts. On a night like this, when your teammates are all over the bases, 9 runs on 14 hits, to go 0 for 4 and strike out 3 times, that has to burn a little bit.
Yeah, there's always one in every lineup, isn't there? Everybody seems to be getting good pitches to hit and just can't find the barrel. It's been a struggle for Chris Young, though, since he's come off the disabled list.
Well, Young had his big moment yesterday. The 9th inning home run proved to be a game winner. Friendly call from Angel Hernandez. 2 outs in the 9th. Oh, a pretty good cut. Chris Young had that superstar label put on him at a very young age.
Yeah, he could run, certainly hit for power. And a good defender who had a decent arm, but right now with that bad shoulder can't throw too well.
Is Turris. Long throw across the diamond is low, but Corey Hart picks one out of the dirt. Add another one to his highlight reel. Nice play by Hart. Inning is over. New pitcher for the Diamondbacks, trying to finish it off here as we head to the bottom of the 9th. Mike Zagurski. Looks like a Zagurski, doesn't he? His 20th appearance of the year. And Zagurski will face George Gutaris to start the inning. Actually, George is going to be pulled back. Martin Maldonado will hit for Gutaris. So Maldonado to start it, and then Izturis. And most likely have another pinch hitter. 9-3 Arizona. A 5-run 3rd inning, the big inning tonight. Maldonado with 5 homers and 16 RBIs this year and just 78 big league at bats this season. We're making the comparison with Miguel Montero, who's one of the best run producing catchers in the National League. And if you break it down by at bats per RBI, Miguel Montero drives in a run every 5.3 at bats. And so far, Martin Maldonado driving in a run every 4.9 at bats. In his brief time, he's actually been more productive. Just to give you a comparison of what Maldonado has been able to do in the absence of Jonathan Lucroy, who was playing at an all-star level before the hand injury.
And that comes as quite a surprise to the Brewers. I think that they realized what they knew what they were going to get defensively from Maldonado, but the run production has been a nice surprise. 5 homers, 16 ribbies. Be interesting to see what the Brewers do when Jonathan Lucroy comes back. That'll be sometime after the All-Star break.
This is a list of the top run-producing catchers in the National League, Ruiz, Montero, and Molina per at-bat. And Brewers going to squeeze right in there nicely with their 3 catchers as Maldonado strikes out. Now, we're not saying that that combination of those 3 in the class of those catchers. I mean, Lucroy's on his way, but he's been injured. But when you get production from the catching position, offensive production like that, that has been the one area where the Brewers have been able to pick up some of the slack. And you'll probably see Maldonado back in there tomorrow as Torres lines one in and out of the glove of Bloomquist. Cesar Torres with a 2-hit night. 2 for 4. And he is in our Marshfield Clinic shining moment. Is Torres driving in 2 with a double in the 6th inning off Ian Kennedy. Kennedy goes 7 innings tonight, 3 runs, 2 earned. And is Torres responsible for 2 of those?
Yeah, got a couple of hits. He's been swinging the bat pretty well tonight. Put a charge into that double he hit. You don't think of East Torres as a guy that can drive the ball like that, but he did.
Here's Carlos Gomez with 1 gone. And it's Torres at first base. Gomez offers. Kennedy went 7. Brad Ziegler picks the 8th. A scoreless 8th. And now Mike Zagurski. Don't forget tomorrow, first pitch at just after 6 p.m. Central. A night game on a Saturday, and Saturday 6 p.m. start times before we go back to day baseball on Sunday. We got a few day games next week as we hit the 4th of July weekend, or the 4th of July week, I should say.
Yep, 3:10 starts.
First game against the Marlins on Monday is a night game, and then back-to-back 3:10 starts, and then the finale on the 5th of July is a 1:10 start. So adjust your calendar, your tailgating schedule. 4th of July at the ballpark. Strike call. Gomez is retired. 2 outs. You breaking anything out for the national broadcast tomorrow, Rock? Anything special? You going bow tie?
Oh no, I can't copy Ken Rosenthal.
You would be copying him
I
because
know,
you were first.
Yeah, but nobody other than folks in Milwaukee don't know that.
I don't know, Rock. I think you got to go for it.
I think I have a new tie I might break out.
Bolero.
Cowboy hat, bolero, boots. No, I don't think so. Just new tie.
Well, that'll be good fun. Back-to-back weeks with Rock on the national game. We saw our old buddy Mitch Riggin here. He's going to be directing that game.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Former Brewers director. The rock star that he is. I guess he was hanging out with the Foo Fighters last night.
Yeah.
That's how he rolls.
He don't mess around. I think he kind of forced his way into that party, didn't he?
It's like a post-concert crashing. The problem is, I guess it's not a problem. It works to his benefit. Mitch looks like he's in the band.
Exactly.
So
yeah,
he looks like a Foo Fighter.
Looks like a drummer.
So he just kind of forced his way in.
Got a nice set of drums at home.
Yes, he does. A little drummer boy. Always good to see Mitch Riggin. Nori Aoki hoping to make it a 3-hit game. single to center in the first, had an infield hit in the fifth. Bloomquist across the diamond in time for the out, and this one's in the books. The Diamondbacks and Kirk Gibson coming here and win convincingly, 9-3 the final score. Diamondbacks have taken 3 out of 4 from the Brewers so far this year. Milwaukee will try to get back in it over the weekend. Well, Ron Renicky will have plenty to say about this one. Craig Kashawn standing by. What else do you have coming up on Brewers Live, Craig?
Well, Brian, plenty. We're going to hear from the players as well. And the Brewers not the way they wanted to start this one out in Game 1. That is for sure. Diamondbacks win at 9-3. We're coming back for Brewers Live. Plus our instructional all on the way.